To the United stand, it's Skype Goldbridge. Welcome. It is your show to get Skyping in. Skype Goldbridge is the name of the show. Herrera missing for the next 2 games for Manchester United. How are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about the game last night? Have you recovered? Are you feeling more positive? FA charge, it's not even incoming. We have been charged for failing to control our players. I've watched lots back today. I've watched loads back today. I've seen TalkSport talking about how we targeted and abused Hazard. To be honest, watching Hazard last night was a bit like watching a gif of Luis Suarez. He was up and down like a yo-yo. I've also watched Conte and the way he's a pantomime manager on Conte, isn't he? He knows that he needs the popularity and he needs the Chelsea faithful behind him. So he was goading Mourinho every chance he got. And I just think it's so funny and so shallow of Chelsea. I must just say, I'm old enough to remember this. Chelsea in the 80s and 90s, their average attendance was 20,000. I don't know what it was that suddenly got them another 30,000 fans to go to their ground. Wonder whether could it be a bit of money or could it even be Mourinho? But we'll leave those little shallow lot to themselves. But he's a pantomime manager, Conte. Mourinho basically put that club on the map, and they boo him and they tell him to F off in favour of the little Red Bull addict. I mean, I'll leave that with them as well. But Herrera missing 2 games. He's been sent off twice this season. So he misses the Borough game and he misses the West Brom game after international break. How do we get on with that? And also, we want to talk about Pogba. Pogba's defining his splitting opinion as well. So give us your thoughts on that. Skype Goldbridge is your call. However, I'm a man of my word. I apologise we're a little bit late. But there was something on Twitter this morning that I was made aware of. Somebody using a bit of our footage and a bit overuse of the spacebar, I would say. I'm not going to tell you what they said because that's not what I do. I don't try and preload a guest. It's their opportunity to come on. I think their name is Dylan. I'm hoping that he will be able to come on. I don't know how we do this. Right, okay. Let's try a Skype call and see if we can get him on. He was quite vocal about some of my opinions last night and about United fans in general, and you have to go to games and all that lot. So, Dylan, can you hear me?
You all right?
I'm good, pal. Thanks for coming on. I've never spoken to you before. I think we can both agree on that. You had your say on Twitter last night. It's not my style to abuse people or anything like that, although that's very easy to do. So you obviously had a point that you were not happy about last night. I stand, and everyone behind the United stand stands by this. It's not my voice. I'm not a voice of the fans. The channel is there for people to come on and have their say, and the floor is yours, pal, so get on with it.
Basically, my main point would just be the opinions you show that defines United fans on social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're one of the biggest United accounts out there, and the views that you give to all the other fans is just shocking and just so biased and stupid. Your Herrera Kante comparison, when he said Herrera's better than Kante, he just goes and gets sent off. It just makes us look like a meme of a club pretty much. And I just think, on a whole overall, you could do us a better service with your channel and your opinions rather than just putting us all to shame. And that's why I'm here.
No, I'm not gonna. Like I say, it's your floor to have a go, and that's anybody can do this. And I'm quite pleased that somebody's come on and spoken about this because that is the opportunity of the show. What I would say is I deleted that tweet, and I deleted that tweet. You know what? I'll be totally honest with you now. Arsenal Fan TV have made a career out of this, and I've got nothing against Robbie. Bad publicity sells. It will get you very, very popular, but that's not what we're trying to do here. The reason I deleted that Herrera tweet, and for those who never saw it, it basically said this, and I understand that interpretation because I've had people I know say to me that tweet comes across that way. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but the tweet said, I'm really looking forward. I sent this 4 days before the game. Looking forward to Herrera and Kante going together. The media and our rivals would have you believe that they're miles apart. They're in for a shock. What I meant by that tweet was I 100% Kante is a better player than Herrera. I'm not even. It doesn't even pain me to say that he is. He won the title for Leicester last year, and he's the reason Chelsea have gone from 10th to where they are. You've got someone in our midfield, and Pogba's world class. He just does the midfield thing. But what I was saying was Herrera gets no appreciation from the press outside of Manchester United, and I don't know what you think, but for me, I think Herrera's probably been our most consistent player certainly in the last month. And what I was saying is I was looking forward to seeing Herrera go against Kante, which, to be honest, up until half an hour when he got sent off, I think we were doing a good job. But what I would say, it wasn't Herrera, it was Pogba who was doing a good job on Kante. Herrera comes out, you bring Fellaini on, and you are going. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Fellaini fan, but you are going to get dominated by Kante if you lose someone like Herrera.
My stance on Herrera is I think we could do a lot better. I understand your tweet sort of didn't literally say Kante said, sorry, Herrera's head and shoulders above Kante and he's a better player. It was just an opinion. And then that's quite easy for people to quote and then say, you think this or whatever.
It was badly worded. A lot of people said to me, a lot of people were right to jump on it, but that isn't what I was actually getting at. But I can see why they did. But, it's I agree. It's rocket fuel for bitter rivals. And when you do something like that, you've got to take it on the chin. And, I take full responsibility. I put that tweet out, but it wasn't what I meant. And I'm not backtracking that. I have been if people watch this show, I have said for a long time, we won't get Kante, but if we can get a Kante type to play next to Pogba, it will free him up to be the attacking midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I think Herrera does a job for now, but if we're looking to kick on to, maybe win the league and compete in the Champions League, we could do a lot better. He's good off the ball, but on the ball, with his passing and his shooting ability, he doesn't really offer much. So that's my stance on him. I don't not like him. I just think that we could do a lot better than him. That wasn't the main point anyway, really. It was just more the tweet. It wasn't me thinking Herrera was shocking.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we're going to talk about the sending off because I don't think we will get equal ground on this. But I literally have only listened to what you said 10 minutes before because it would be rude of me not to. So I did listen to it. I know it's done very well. I know you've got a lot of followers and do give yourself a shout out for that. But no problem with that at all. But I don't think we're going to agree on the... I listened to what you said about the yellow card and I've been arguing with Chelsea fans who I work with and stuff today. I think it was harsh, but give your opinion. It's your call.
Yeah, my opinion was, obviously, I'm a United fan, so I can be slightly biased, but I think if we're being completely honest with ourselves, there were 2 yellow cards. And I know the distance in between and whatever, he didn't do any other fouls, which is fair enough, but at the end of the day, you did admit yourself the first one you thought was a yellow card that you said after it.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And then, yeah. And in my opinion, I think the second one was worse. There was a lot of them tackles going on in that game where, for some reason, our players' idea of pressing on the halfway line was just wait for them to receive the ball, then just go in and snap them, which I didn't really get. And I think that was a yellow card, and I think he should have been sent off. And I think, again, with those opinions of that happens and that's why we lose the game, there's been so many games this season when we've had one decision or something go against us or was missing a chance and we've blame the referee or blame bad luck. And I've had enough of that, to be honest with you, because where we are in the league and where we are in every other competition is down to us. And I'm just sick of hearing United fans and managers and everyone make excuses.
Dylan, you're not in the minority. I'm not going to disrespect that. I mean, people are saying that, people can make their own minds up. This is what the United stands about. This is why we do these shows, so people come on. There is no right or wrong opinion, and people will have different ones. And Dylan's not in the minority. There's a lot of people today. I want to ask him about Pogba specifically, but there's a lot of people today who are like, we got what we deserved, pissed off with Herrera. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people like that. Personally, my opinion on it is this. If you've seen the Valencia tackle in the second half, that's a red card every single day of the week. And the referee's looking right at it. My issue with it is, and I think Rio Ferdinand apparently tweeted out as well, is that Michael Oliver, as a referee, has consistently caused us problems. I remember the Joe Hart headbutt thing a couple of years ago. But what he got wrong is it's a big game. I can't disagree with what you said, and I said this last night. I can't disagree with the fact that they're soft, but the FA will back him. They are soft. But when it's Chelsea against Manchester United and everyone's looking forward to it, as a referee, you've got a responsibility to let that game run as much as you can. And if somebody's chucking in, studs up tackles like that, you've got to stamp down on it. But those sort of fouls, I think where he lost it is that he warned Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, but then he went and booked Herrera the second booking. And Herrera wasn't part of that conversation. Chris Smalling hasn't had an opportunity to go around to the rest of the team and say, everybody's on a last warning. So Herrera does 2 fouls and he's off. I just think it's really hard to say this as a United fan because obviously I am biased about United, but as a spectacle, I've spoken to fans because I live in the Midlands area who are Villa fans who said they switched off. After half an hour they switched off because it was a good game and the referee ruined it. And why didn't he just use a little bit of common sense? Neither foul by Herrera was like you deserve to be sent off. But you're right, by the law of the game, yeah, I can't argue with that, but I just think it was bad refereeing, and we got robbed, and the public got robbed of an opportunity of seeing how good United are against what will be the Premier League winners. And obviously you're going to react. I can't help it. We're live. I'm a United fan. I'm passionate. I probably overreacted a little bit looking back on it, but I just think I don't agree with the two. I know you said it in your video. 2 yellow cards. Sorry, mate. That's sending off. And if you're a Chelsea fan, whatever, United fan, I understand that. But I just felt it was ridiculously harsh and it wasn't deserved. And to be honest, I wish he'd just, instead of doing the last warning, book Phil Jones and then and that's it.
I can kind of see that standpoint where I think Jones probably fouled, I can't remember who, about 30 seconds before, and he's took that mindset into the Herrera tackle, which is fair enough. But I just go back to that point again of us just blaming the referee for ruining the game. There's no guarantee to say we would have won that game. We set up very defensively.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So
I just would have liked that opportunity. I think it just felt. I don't know about you. I'm going to ask you 2 questions actually. I don't know about you. I mean, I would like to have stayed in the FA Cup, but actually we have got bigger fish to fry, and it's not the end of the world. I don't think United fans are that bothered that we're out. We obviously want to be in, but I just felt robbed. But talk to me about Paul Pogba. Again, we've not spoken, so I don't know where you stand on this. What's your thoughts on Paul Pogba? And you're pretty much on safe ground because there's 50% saying they're not happy and there's 50% saying leave him alone. And Mourinho said he was man of the match last night, which even I would agree is not right.
No, I don't agree with that. I think probably our man of the match is probably Rojo, or you could argue Valencia. But in terms of Pogba as a player in general, I think we've got a world-class player on our hands who has the potential to be the best player in the world in his position. But at the moment, he's not producing. You go back to players similar to him, box-to-box midfielders like Lampard, Gerrard. They'd win you games. Do you know what I mean? And Pogba just at the moment isn't. I know he's a centre midfielder, and the opinion that people have is like the older people that were paid £90 million for him. He should be scoring every week. He should have so many assists. It's stupid. I agree with that. But he should be doing more for us than just sort of playing in that holding role and not really producing anything. But at the same time, in the way that Mourinho played him yesterday, in a 2-man midfield as a defensive midfielder, we can't expect him to produce much. So in that sense, I'm not really that annoyed with him yesterday. The thing that annoyed me more actually was at the end of the game. I don't know if you saw it. I tweeted it out. Yeah. Was where he was hugging Conte and Kante, smiling like Ibrahimovic did when we got beat 4-0 a few months ago. That really annoyed me. That probably annoyed me more than getting beat because we got beat fair and square. You know what I mean? Everyone put up a good fight. And then you see someone who's come through the youth team who should care about the club more than most of the players, and he's just laughing when we're losing. That's what annoyed me.
I think we're a dying breed on that because I always bring it back to my favourite player of United, Roy Keane, and there's no way he'd be hugging the opposition manager whether he played for him or not. It's not going to happen. But maybe we're a bit old school with that. I don't know, but because I tweeted it out as well, and there's people saying it's just sportsmanship. But no, that doesn't sit right with me as well. You've literally seconds after a game, your blood should be pumping, and there should be that annoyance at losing that you don't want to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I was talking to people about that, and they were saying, Kante's probably his mate, he knows him from the French squad, whatever. That's fair enough, but I know, being a United fan myself, which you'd assume, Paul Pogba is, when he's coming off the pitch after losing such a big game, being knocked out of the cup, and have another game at Wembley taken off him, then you should be annoyed no matter who your mate is. Give him a handshake, walk off the pitch, clap the fans, whatever. Not go around hugging everyone and clap and laughing. That's what annoyed me.
No,
but in terms of him being a player, I can't really say that much that's bad about him. It's his first season back in the Premier League. If hopefully he should start producing next season for us or come good again. But yeah, I haven't really got many problems with Pogba, to be honest. I just think a lot of people expect too much of him when he's been played in our system. So if anything, I'm backing him.
Yeah, well, I'd be on the same page there. There was a tweet today from somebody, I forget the name, I should write them down, and they were saying, why are United fans arguing with United fans about Paul Pogba? If you don't like Paul Pogba, go and support Real Madrid. Which is a bit literal, but I sort of do. I don't, I'm ecstatic we've got Pogba, and I do think he'll come good. I think he has been good at times, but yesterday, I don't think you can judge. I'm not a massive Fellaini fan, but I wouldn't say he was rubbish yesterday. It was a bus, parking the bus, and we couldn't do much more than that. But
Well, we got our one chance with Rashford, which, to be fair to him, you can't really say much wrong about him either, because, you know, he beat two men, went in outside of KO, made that opportunity himself. But literally, that was one of them games when you saw Rashford miss that and you just knew that was it. There was no coming back. We weren't creating anything. That was literally, I think that was our one shot on target that we had all game.
Yeah, he should have scored it, but like you say, you know, he's made it out of absolutely nothing. And I mean, I thought Rashford showed again last night maturity beyond his years and shows what he can do, because he's up against, you know, it is the best defence in the league. Dylan, thanks for coming on. I hope you will come on again. Really enjoyed the chat.
I would if you're interested, yeah.
Yeah, no, loved it. I've got no issue with people coming on if they disagree with things. That's exactly what it should be about. I never professed that my voice... I heard somebody saying today that CUNT going around that is the voice of the United fans. We started this channel because we, you know, and it's rocketed, and it's nothing to do with thinking with the United voice or anything like that. So if people have things they want to discuss, you know, more than happy to have you back on again. So really pleased you came on. Thanks for that, and please do come on again.
Okay, shout out to United.
I forgot your Twitter. Give us a shout out for your Twitter account.
Yeah, so it's Marcus Rojo, but instead of the A in Marcus, it's an X pretty much. And shout out to the United group chat as well. Some good lads in there. Thank you.
Cheers, pal. Thanks for coming on. Really enjoyed that.
See ya.
Okay, thanks to Dylan for coming on. Let's have a quick look at the live comments. Skype Goldbridge is open. I've not planned this show, so just get Skyping in. Richie CR has contributed through the super chat. He says, Mark, everybody's making a big deal about Herrera's sending off, but what about the lack of booking for Chelsea? Diego Costa should have been sent off. Well, you know what? I'm not saying we were going to win last night. I think it's very easy to jump on somebody and say, oh, you know, he thinks he's deluded, whatever like that. I'm not talking about Dylan there. I'm talking about you know what? In fairness, I've had a lot of Chelsea fans on our timeline today, but you know the club that's been on our timeline the most and had the most retweets and the most mocking? Bloody Liverpool. I mean, I just haven't bothered to reply because the content to ridicule them is massive. But so... And I'm not saying we were going to win last night, but what really frustrated me is we never got an opportunity to play them 11 against 11 for 90 minutes. But we will at Old Trafford, and I'll stand by it. I really do think that we will beat them. Indy?
Hello?
Hello, you alright, pal?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. How are you? I'm
good.
What was it you wanted to talk about, mate?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the game. I think I'm actually proud to be a United fan, because if you think about it, we had Jones playing, we had Smalling playing, we had Mike Smalling playing, we had Darmian playing, we had no Martial, Mkhitaryan had to come off of Fellaini, so also Rashford was ill, so I think that we was going to probably get smashed in the game, but we didn't.
You still there?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so you're happy with the result. Let me just ask you a couple of things then. First of all, where do you stand on Pogba? Do you think he's not doing enough at the moment, or are you like, let's stick with him? Obviously, Mourinho said he was man of the match last night. Well, first of all, tell us if you think he was, and then tell us what you think about Pogba in general.
I think it was De Gea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pogba. Okay. Pogba, he will come good, but one thing I'm disappointed with is the amount of hairstyles. He needs to stop them. I think Eric Bailly has a better hairstyle than him. Look, the hairstyles, it's embarrassing, and the way at the end of the game when he was doing all that smiling stuff with Conte, just what the it's just embarrassing. Come on, you're 89 mil, you should know better than that. And anyways, people need to stop, criticizing. If he was about, 30 million, then people will be like, what a bargain he is. But as he's 89, people aren't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been quite consistent about the value of him. 89 million, he's not worth 89 million. We paid 89 million to get him. That's what we did, because he's worth 60 million. But if we'd offered 60, I think Real Madrid or Barcelona would have had a go as well. So the price isn't necessarily his fault. I don't necessarily think he's been that good since Christmas in the new year, but I always come back to the fact that would you drop him? Who would you replace him with? Yeah, he's not playing that great at the moment, but I don't think there's a scenario where you drop him, Indy. There's not a scenario where you take him out of the team, because there's nobody better than Pogba in our squad at the moment.
Yeah, I think him and Herrera.
I mean, that's a
Because
good question. Let me just ask you that. Obviously, Herrera's out. He can play on Thursday night because it's a European game, but he can't play against Borough and he can't play against West Brom. We're going to Borough on Sunday. I personally think that's a more important game than last night because if we don't get 3 points there, I think we can almost kill off top four as well.
yeah.
What would your midfield be with no Herrera?
With no Herrera.
Yeah, because he can't play on Sunday.
Oh, that's easy. Pogba and wait. Oh, you have to have three midfielders: Carrick, Pogba, and Fellaini.
All right. Fellaini's
Yeah,
back in town.
I know you hate. I know you hate Fellaini, Mark. I know you hate him.
I wouldn't go as far as hating him. I just think that he gives the opposition a chance. And to be honest, I'd go Carrick, Pogba, Schweinsteiger if he's fit. If he's not, I'd go Carrick, Pogba, Mata. But I don't think necessarily that Jose Mourinho will do that. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, go on.
Do you hate Fellaini as a player, or do you hate him personally?
Well, I don't hate anybody personally, so that's your answer. I don't like him as a player. However, I just think I wouldn't. If Rashford hadn't been fit yesterday, I'd have played Fellaini up front. The only time I would stomach Fellaini in a Manchester United shirt is if he's in the opposition's penalty box because that's where he causes the most problem. I don't like seeing him in our penalty box. I don't like him seeing in our midfielder as well. But I don't know. I don't hate him personally, and I just don't think he's Manchester United quality for me.
Yeah, true.
Thanks for coming on, Indy.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
No worries, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure you can see Indy in the live comments there as well. Let's have a look. Fellaini is a joke, says Umar. Peak says we need Fellaini because West Brom like high. I mean, whatever you think about Fellaini, it's irrelevant what I think about Fellaini. Whatever you think about Fellaini, he will be part of this Manchester United squad for the rest of this season and maybe next season. You know, what was the default yesterday when we goes down to 10 men? Get Fellaini on. What was the default the other day when we're trying to close a game down with 20 minutes to go? Get Fellaini on. I don't. It's one thing I really don't agree with, but that's what he does. Sander, can you hear me?
I can do, Mark. How are you?
I'm alright, how are you, pal?
Pissed off.
Go on,
I feel robbed. I just want to. I've had enough. I'm sorry. It's an absolute joke, right? The thing that I hate the most, right, and I know Herrera does it now and again, is diving, and that fucking Hazard scum. I don't want to go effing and blinding, but this is one of the most angriest I've been in a long time about a football game. Hazard. I've never seen a person dive that much. I thought it was Tom Daly on the field, right? Diego Costa is a unit, right? He's a big old unit. There was a bit of gust of wind and he falls over. It's ridiculous, right? Any touch on those players, they're going down. Fair enough, we should be more clever in the way that we should read that they're drawing the foul, etc. But never is that a sending off with a Herrera. Never. Fair enough, right? You can even argue that maybe independently they're both yellows, right? But my argument would be, you don't, like, you always see it, how if it's a yellow, you don't necessarily give it a second yellow because obviously it goes to the red, and especially not in a big game like last night. A spectacle like you said that we've been building up for a long time and that loads of neutrals were watching, and I tell you what, we were right in it, and I think that would have been a massive statement, right? A massive statement to all the rival fans, because to be fair to us, in the big games we haven't played so well, and that's obviously the games that a lot of neutral fans watch. So that's, they've seen Pogba in that and gone, oh, you're shit, all this, right? Last night, I reckon, I'm not being funny, I reckon we would have won, and that would have been a massive, massive statement and would have given us so much confidence, but we were robbed by that attention whore, right? That absolute, I'm sorry to go swearing, but have you seen that photo of him, like, with the line in his hair, thinking he's some kind of a gangster, like, rapper? What are you doing? You're a referee, right? Just chill out, do your job, and don't go chasing the headlines, right? It winds me up, and I've had enough of it, right?
What did you think about the FA charge against the players?
I forgot about that. That is an absolute joke. Like, Antonio Conte mouthing off to Mourinho, absolutely going for it. He's a muppet. What, that should be a charge in itself, right? We've been Jose kicking the bottle. That shows Jose kicking the bottle was less aggression than Antonio Conte's actions last night. The FA charge is a farce, right? It's an absolute joke. Tottenham got charged last year towards the end of the season against Chelsea because they lost control of their players. But that's because they were shouting. I think 9 of their players got yellow cards. They were pushing Gus Hiddink, the manager at the time. They were going mental. It was chaos. Last night, we showed a bit of passion. And I tell you what, if I was on that field, I would have done 10 times worse than what our players did last night. I was fuming. It's a joke. It really needs to be sorted out. And that, for me, has put a very sour taste in my mouth in terms of how I look at football, because now I don't know where we go from here.
I mean, I do personally, I have to be consistent. I won't go against it. I do think there's a bit of an agenda against Jose Mourinho. I don't think it's against Manchester United, but I think we get it second hand. Losing control of your players, again, the FA are on safe ground. They can put the pictures of us all crowding the referee, but that was straight after Ander Herrera's just got a second yellow card. And I challenge any human being who plays football, if you see your teammate get sent off for a second soft foul, you're not just going to go, oh, that's all right then. We've come all the way down to London for a big game. We've got a whole hour to go, and you've just destroyed it. Of course you're going to go and say something. So I don't have a problem with that. Apart from that, Rojo's stamp and Valencia's two-footed tackle, both of which the referee saw, how can that be losing control of your players? I didn't see any petulance. I think actually from the sending off, we were very reserved and we just got down and did our job. I think it's a joke.
I mean, I completely agree with you. And to be fair, those tackles, they should have been awarded some sort of card. And that Valencia tackle was so filthy. It was so red. Dirty. Yeah, it was such a red. To be fair, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was so annoyed. I just thought, like you said, Fellaini, go throw an elbow in his face, or just someone just go hurt someone, because I was so annoyed. But that is a joke on Michael Oliver, because if Herrera's getting 2 yellow cards for those soft tackles, it shows his lack of consistency, and it just shows how stupid and just bad generally that the referee is.
We've got a Chelsea fan on in the live comments saying the Herrera sending off was deserved and Rojo should have gone as well. Just because you're a Chelsea fan doesn't mean you're the oracle of Chelsea fans. I actually worked with a Chelsea fan, and he said he thought it was very, very soft and ruined the game. So you get a fair view there. I understand why people are saying it was a sending off, because it was letter of the law, but I'll tell you what, go and watch the last 20 Manchester United versus Liverpool games, against Arsenal games, against City games, against Chelsea games, and you'll see exactly where I'm coming from. A referee should not be put into a game like that if they're going to be out of their depth. And Rio Ferdinand tweeted it straight after sending off, exactly what we were saying. This referee's lost it. He's lost the plot. He's out of his depth. He's let his own emotions get over him, and he's lost the game. And he just gave a petty second yellow card because it was like the boy who gets bullied at school. I'm the milk monitor, and I'm gonna tell the teacher on you, and that's what he did. Instead of thinking about the millions of people watching at home who are looking forward to this game, he decided as a little petulant individual that I'm going to do the letter of the law, and I'm telling the teacher yellow card, and it ruined it. And I tell you what, if you don't want to believe that, I'm actually on the side of the Chelsea fans here. In the second half, he's staring straight at a two-footed tackle by Valencia on Kante. That if Valencia's 3 inches to the right, he snaps Kante in half like a Kit Kat. It's like Valencia's a big unit. He's launching at him. It's two-footed. And people are saying he gets the ball. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant if he gets the ball. It's two-footed. It's a straight red card. I've put it up as a GIF actually on the United Stand channel. It's about 4 o'clock today. Go back and watch it. And I love Valencia. I thought it was man of the match yesterday. But the referee's looking right at it. It's a red card. And I've had even people today saying, oh, you weren't complaining when the Bournemouth player got sent off for 2 soft yellow cards. If you watch the watch along, we were saying at half time, that's very harsh. We are fair. We've had penalties given to us. We've had all sorts of decisions, and we will be fair. Valencia should have been sent off. The referee was looking right at it, but it just adds powder to our keg that the referee was awful. Not just in sending Herrera off, but in the decisions he made throughout the game. He was a bad referee and he ruined the spectacle. But we're out. Sander, what do you think about the Europa League and the Premier League? Do you think we can get top 4 and win the Europa League, or are you concerned?
I am concerned. Who wouldn't be? We're not in the top 4 currently as it stands, and Rostov, I can't watch it, but I'm sure. I think it'll be a difficult game. Well, even if that isn't a difficult game, however many games we've got to play in the future, they will be difficult, I'm sure. So Europa League isn't certain, and the top 4 looks difficult, especially that Middlesbrough game. Like you said, that is a far more important game than the FA Cup for me. just stick to as close to that top 4 as possible. So yeah, I am worried about it, but I think we're going to get the Europa League. It really does excite me. I don't know why. Like I wasn't really enthusiastic about it at the beginning of the season. I was going, let's get top 4, let's get top 4. But now, the closer and further we get in Europa League, I'm thinking, cool, it would be nice to get to a final, a big A. So yeah, that does excite me. I don't know if this is a bit of a segue for you. Maybe get other people to talk about this. But Lukaku,
I forgot
he
that.
said, he did comment today, and he said that he's not going to be signing a contract for Everton. So I don't know whether that means he's coming to us or not. I really don't know. But for me, I've said it on Harry Kane. You don't get that many goals without being a good player, right? And he's playing in Everton. Kane's playing for Tottenham, right? And going missing in the big games is kind of a criticism, but he's playing for Tottenham. Get him. So for Everton, in Everton, they could be sitting back against the big teams and he might be feeding off scraps. Whereas if he was to play for a big team like Chelsea or United, I really feel like he would score a hell of a lot of goals. And like I said about Kane, against the small teams and not only against the big teams. So I think it would be interesting to see where that goes. And I wouldn't mind him, to be honest.
Okay, Xander, good points. Thanks for calling. Need to get a couple of others on, but thanks for calling in, pal, as ever.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, Xander. Thank you. I suppose I should answer that last point as well. I'm going to take Beck's call because a lot of people are asking me to do it. So just keep calling back and I'll get you on. We are very close. I've just realised we've got the live subscriber count in the bottom right hand corner, and I didn't realise we were that close to 72,500. We're closing in on the capacity of Old Trafford, but it'd be nice to get to 72,500 tonight. So if you are new, please do subscribe. A hologram at the bottom right hand corner, and make sure you click the bell as well so you get notifications every time we are live. I will be live tomorrow afternoon with a preview. It's a weird time for me to do it, but I'm actually off tomorrow. So I will probably do a preview at about 3 o'clock, but there will be a show at 8:30. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we will do a show at 8:30 tomorrow night as well. But it's the City game, isn't it, which I will be watching. So Lukaku. How do I say this nicely? Big game bottle, I don't want him. He won't be coming to Manchester United. Jose got rid of him at Chelsea. People say, he got rid of him because he was young. He'd been on loan, I think, to West Brom and then come back to Chelsea, and Mourinho still didn't want him. He's not a hell of a different player from what he was at West Brom, if you've watched Lukaku a lot, which I have. I've definitely cast my eye over Lukaku over the last few years because there has been times, even on the United stand, if you look back over the videos, where I've said, let's get Lukaku. The reason I don't like Lukaku now is every time he plays against Manchester United, no matter who our centre-backs are, he bottles it. All I can say about this, and people are going to have a pop, is I've watched a lot of football in my lifetime. I've seen people like Kevin Phillips score a lot of goals in the Premier League. Darren Bent score a lot of goals in the Premier League, just like Lukaku and Kane are now. Doesn't mean they were ever good enough for Manchester United. And I unfortunately, I feel the same about those two at the moment. I'm not saying they couldn't prove me wrong, but I just don't think they are top 4 strikers, and I think they would bottle it against the big teams. That's my personal thought. Collie House says Hazard should represent the Belgian team at the Olympics. I said it last night. I thought Suarez was a cheat. I never realised, I've not watched Chelsea that much this year, I've never realised what a cheat Eden Hazard is, and Costa. And again, I spoke to a few Chelsea fans at work today. I don't know why there's so many in the Midlands, and they were like, it left a bad taste in their mouth. You don't want to win games like that. But what they both did say as well, and I want to touch on this at some point as well, is the Chelsea fans booing Mourinho. What's that all about? Beck, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, you all right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. What do you want to talk about?
Just wanted to talk about the refs and how they're rubbish at the moment.
All right, okay, in general, yeah?
Yeah, because it's just so inconsistent, and he books Herrera for nothing, and then Valencia and Rojo, they do that, they get nothing. I don't get it.
Well, I like that argument, actually, because it's the sort of the one I was probably trying to get across badly, is that, the ref, it isn't biased with this referee. What I'm saying is he's just a crap referee, because he sends Valencia off for 2 soft yellow cards, and in the second half he should have sent off 2 United players. Definitely Valencia is looking right at it. But what was your overall feeling coming out of that game? Are you angry about us being out, or are you just like, well, you know what, the players that were on the pitch, they gave a good account of ourselves, heads held high, we now go and focus on the tournaments that matter?
Well, not really, because I was happy that we played that well with 11 men against Chelsea, who were that many points clear of the top. So I'm not really too bothered that we went out to them, because I reckon they'll win it anyway. So we've gone out to the winners.
Yeah. Europa League on Thursday, Middlesbrough on Sunday. What are your thoughts on those two games? Do you fancy us winning both, or are you still not 100% sure, trusting this team? Because I know there's a lot of United fans at the moment. I mean, we've seen it against Bournemouth and Hull, where they'll come on social media afterwards and say, I just don't trust that team anymore. I cannot go into a game and say we probably will win, but I'm not going to put my neck on the line and say we will.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather win Rostov and get through, because I reckon the Europa League is our only realistic hope now for Champions League football. So I'd like to get that, but if we don't, then I guess
Can I
we've got to get the points.
Can I ask you a difficult question? If we don't get Champions League football, what are your thoughts on this season? Is it a failure, or have you still seen enough already that we are making the right progress with this team and this manager?
Yeah, I reckon we've done good this season, really, where we've come from, and I reckon next season we definitely can challenge for the title.
Good points, Beck. I don't like asking this question because there's a lot of people asking in the comments, but are you female or male?
So,
Thank God for that. I would have gone out. I would have felt really, really bad if you were a boy. That's fantastic. I thought you were. Where are you calling from?
Birmingham.
Birmingham. All right. What area?
Near Stourbridge.
All right. Okay. That's only 'cause
Shout out to Mad Marcus at mad_Marcus13.
There you go. Shout out for him. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in, Beck. I know you're on the live comments all the time. United regular, and a very, very good debut on the show. Thanks for calling in.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you. Always nice to get somebody on off the live comments, because I know there's so many regulars. And if you are new, make sure you're logged onto YouTube. Get yourself on the live comments. Even if you come on an hour before the show goes live, there's loads of chat going on there. The live comments opens up an hour before the show. So get on there, get to know people. There's a great community of people on there. And like Mad Marcus just said, great call here from Beck. Let me have a look on who's calling in. There was a few calling in that I wanted to. I've seen Josh calling in a lot. Josh, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Josh. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Is that picture you on the Skype thing?
No.
I was going to say nobody else can see it, so it's only me. But it's a big, well-built lad.
Enjoy.
What do you want to talk about, Josh?
I'm actually getting a bit frustrated with not so much with the opposition fans with their opinion on Pogba, but mainly with with some United fans with Pogba. Really, I don't think he's getting a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Pogba fan, and people keep saying, obviously I do this every match, and I do my match reaction, and I look at the live comments, I read the ones afterwards, even if I don't get a chance to reply, and it's in there a lot. Mark, when are you going to turn on Pogba? Why are you sticking up for a £90 million player? I've been consistent about this all season. I don't feel the need to jump on Pogba's back. He's a Manchester United player. I know he's talented, and I just think it's his first season in the Premier League, and he will come good. I disagree with I don't know what your thoughts are, Josh. I do disagree with what Mourinho said last night, that he was the best player on the pitch. I didn't feel that. And I also agree with the critics who say, well, he's obviously backing Pogba to give him an ego boost, but why didn't he do that to Mkhitaryan or Martial or Shaw, who he's publicly berated? So I do agree with that, but I'm certainly not in the camp of having a go against Pogba.
Yeah, I think those comments about Pogba last night were just, I think he just didn't want to get on his back, really. I think the way he's managing Pogba, he just wants to keep bigging him up and backing his man, really. But at the end of the day, even as a biased United fan, we can't, shy away from the fact that Pogba isn't playing very well.
How would you solve that? Would you keep him in the team, or would you be looking to give him a bit of a rest? Some people think he looks very tired. And how do you think that feeds in, especially in relation to the Premier League games, the next two games against Borough on Sunday and then West Brom? No Herrera, so Pogba becomes even more important.
I think he has to play, doesn't he, really? And I don't think you can really drop someone that's worth that much money. I don't think you pay that much money and you're going to drop him. So I think, and with Herrera banned, he's going to be even more important, like you said.
I think it's a good point, because I think that's sort of what I would say. These and as I said, that tweet today, I wish I could bloody remember who'd sent it. It was a good tweet. In fact, I'll have a look for it when you're talking next. That they really did say that, United. I don't mind rival fans having a go at Pogba because we can put a wall up against them. But when it's internal and it's United fans fighting with United fans about our biggest signing, then that is a concern. And I would go back to that. I mean, whatever you think about Pogba, I wish somebody would phone in and actually have a go at him, because there are people out there who are United fans who aren't happy with it. But who do you replace Pogba with? I mean, he might not be doing fantastically well at the moment, and it is a bit of concern, but who would you replace him with? Are you confident that we're going to win the Europa League and get top four? That's one very important question I think we need to be asking all our guests tonight, because whatever happened last night, whatever your thoughts were, these two are very important tournaments for us now.
In terms of the Europa League, I think if we get through on Thursday, we are comfortably the favourites for that tournament. I think Roma and Lyon are playing each other, and I think Lyon are pretty much through. I think Roma have to win 3-0 or 2-0 and then away goals to extra time. So I think after that, I think we'll be favourites if we get through. And then in the Premier League, it's so tight, and Liverpool like to play well in the big games, so I don't really know what's going to happen in the league, to be honest.
I mean, what I would say to that is, without giving my opinion, is because I haven't made my mind up, is the run-in of Arsenal and Liverpool is better than ours, and we're already points behind them. That doesn't mean we can't do it. I just think I've always felt that the points we've dropped against your Burnleys, Stokes, West Ham, Hull, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Everton, it's a lot of points, and at some point that was always going. I remember saying back in November, having dropped the points against Stoke and West Ham, that 4 points will cost us at the end of the year. We're now into about 15, 16 points, so of course that's going to, but it will cost us. I think we've got to go for the Europa League. I'm confident we'll win on Thursday, but I'm not going to make any predictions, because when I do, they tend to go wrong. It was at Sir Carrick on Twitter who sent it out at lunchtime, and he said, "Why are our fans defending Pogba from our fans? If you don't like Pogba, you can F off right now. Go support Madrid, you glory hunting CUNTSers." So quite a harsh email, but tweet, but I do get his point. Josh, was there anything specific else you wanted to discuss?
I just wanted to say, for the rest of our fans, just stick with the team, and I think we'll have a good season in the Europa, and we've already got one cup in the bag. Great show. Cheers for having me on.
No worries, Josh. Really appreciate it. A great call again, and please do call in again.
Cheers, bye.
Thank you. Again, really good show. I've not been able to do Skype Goldbridge on Monday because obviously we had the match, but nice to get it back on today, and a very good show. And it wasn't Drawty in disguise. Is Pogba a big game bottler? Says somebody who I flicked off my screen from. Alex Cook. Sorry, Alex. And we're going to get both the Europa League and top four, says Hanok. I mean, if we do, it's been a fantastic season. But I think Josh is right. Positivity is the key at the moment. We really need to stay positive and focus on, the past is the past. That includes the positives of things like the Europa League, the League Cup. But last night's the past. I don't think we learnt anything from last night, apart from camaraderie, and he's not the latest Italian signing. I mean, the togetherness. Neil Simons has contributed £2 through the super chat, which you can do if you want to contribute to the channel. Make sure you do leave a question up, and obviously a lot of people do this on Twitch. You can now do it on the YouTube live comments. Thanks, Niall. He says we can't afford to drop Pogba right now, which I would agree with. Who do you drop him for? Would be my question to that. Tyrone, can you hear me? No, I think he's gone. Right, so let's try somebody else. Roy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing, Roy?
Good.
What do you want to talk about?
Just wanted to say that a few things about the match. First of all, I thought we played really well in the first, up until obviously the red card, and I thought Pogba, in fairness to him, up until like when we had 11 men on the pitch, I think he made a few really good slide tackles against Kante and really controlling really well. And I thought Kante, everyone's saying he was brilliant, and I agree, obviously. And I just can't believe, like, I think Chelsea got an absolute steal in the summer when they signed him for, I think it was like 32 million. And I'm surprised, like, that they were the only, like, there wasn't anyone coming in higher than that for him.
I remember
And
doing a show at the time. Actually, I don't know how long you've been watching the United stand, but I do remember. Obviously, we loved the summer and get involved in it this summer. But Chelsea, like you say, they'd finished 10th. They had no European football. Surely, if we'd gone in, we could have got him. Or even if it's not us, like you say, why didn't an Arsenal or a City? It was so obvious that he won Leicester the title last year. I think Chelsea did get a steal, and we're very lucky to get him as well, because I think if bigger clubs had gone for him, they wouldn't have got him.
yeah, and Kante, he made about the referee last night. I'm not going to go over it because really, it's Chelsea. We lost 1-0 with 10 men for basically nearly the whole game, and I was quite happy with the way Mourinho. No, he had like 4 days. He had 4 days to prepare the team and like get it really, really ready. And I thought he did like an amazing job to, especially I like the way that United, they had a bit of bite about us as well, because we were following Hazard. Phil Jones was watching him all over the pitch. The two wing backs, Darmian. Now, once I saw Darmian on the team, I was like, oh no, but he did all right for a while. And I thought Ashley Young, a lot of people were getting on Ashley Young's case when he stayed and Mourinho started playing him. But I thought, he was I thought he was really, really good last night, especially dealing with Victor Moses, who most Premier League clubs and most clubs in general, they just haven't really dealt with him this season, and that's why he's gotten like so many goals coming from right wing back.
Yeah, I thought he had a really good game. I mean, just very quickly, what was your thoughts? Do you think we can win the Europa League and get top 4?
Yeah, I was looking at the teams like still in it just before I came on here, and I was looking, and there's not really that many teams, but I've been watching a lot since Memphis Depay went over to France. I've been watching Lyon like a lot since they started since he obviously went over there, and I was looking, and Lyon, in fairness, like a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, we're favourites if we go into the semis. Now we should be favourites, but looking at it, I think that if we were to kind of avoid Lyon, because there's not really, I think it's just us, Lyon, and really the other team that's really in it, I think, is there's a few weird like teams, like Russian teams and all that, and there's not really that much quality really left in it. So about the EuroLeague, I'd say that if we make it to the final, hopefully, because the same thing that happened to Liverpool. Liverpool went on an unbelievable run. They beat Borussia Dortmund in the semi-finals. They were all going crazy, saying, "We have this. We're gonna go and beat Seville, or I think it's Seville in the final. Or no, Villarreal, I think it was. I'm not sure who it was, but they ended up going to the final, and like they lost the whole thing, and that was their Champions League gone down the window, and they were relying on that competition to get into the Champions League, to get the players in that Jurgen Klopp really wanted, but they didn't. And I think that's the thing that United need to watch out for, because if you put all your eggs in one basket, really, with the EuroLeague, it could come you could drop the basket and all your eggs can break at the same time. So, about that, the Premier League, I'd still be going full throttle. Like, we only have 2 cup competitions now to deal with. The FA Cup's out there. I think we should all just forget about it and just really move on and try and get, because I think we have 2 games in hand in Liverpool or something like that. I'm not sure, but hopefully we can get 4th, and I just hope that we get as many results as we can, because at the end of the day, nobody likes to see us go out and lose. And even if you say that we go out and lose fighting, still everyone just wants to win, really.
Thanks for calling, Roy. Thanks again, and speak to you again soon.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just having a quick whiz around. Love the Irish, says Anthony Abdurrab. Of course, it's St Paddy's Day on Friday. Very much looking forward to that. The whole PSG fell apart, so you can't really blame a single player. Leicester City for the Champions League, I would love that, says Fire Squad World. I don't even know what the score is at the moment. Romeo KGT says United will finish 6th, so aim is to win the Europa League. I think we've lost a bit of momentum, haven't we, in our hearts, that we were in everything and now we're out of something last night. So we've got to go again on Thursday. I'm sure we'll beat Rostov on Thursday, and then I think Borough is a massive game on Sunday lunchtime. I think if we can win that, we have a break for the international break, and then I think the first week after the international break, there's 3 Premier League games in a week where we play West Brom at home, Everton at home, and Sunderland away, which are all winnable games. So if you get 9 points from them, then you're back into the Europa League. Then 9 points would be massively helpful. So it's all there for us to do. And I mean, Mourinho's the right man, isn't he? He's banging the badge yesterday. I still do have concerns about some of the players he picks. I think Roy made a very good point, and a couple of you made a good point. I mean, what was Darmian doing in the team yesterday? I mean, why is Darmian in the team? Nothing against Darmian, nothing against Fellaini really. It's just more, why are you in the team when there's better players in the squad? But that's Mourinho's choice, and until it costs us points, which it has in the past, to be fair, then we can't really moan too much about it. But it's hard to have a go at any players yesterday, and I really don't want to do that. I think we've got to be positive. Harry Galt's going to the Rostov game. I hope he enjoys that. But we've got to be positive about Thursday night, and hopefully Richie Singh says he loves the videos. Thanks for that. We've hit 72,500 subscribers as well, so thanks for everybody who is getting involved in the channel. Live tomorrow afternoon, probably going to be about 3 o'clock with the preview, and then we will do something for you tomorrow night at 8:30 live as well. But I'm off tomorrow, so I may as well do you a video. Thanks everybody for watching. Really enjoyed that. First guest, enjoyed that as well. Opportunity there to come on and say what you like on these shows. I really don't care. What I will never do is make it difficult for you, abuse you or anything like that, because that's not what the United stand's about. And to be fair, that first guest was quite abusive towards me in his video last night, and whether he meant that or not, I don't know. He didn't do it on the show tonight, and I take people as I find them. Maybe he was just heat of the moment last night, or maybe he does think those things he said, but he didn't say them on the video tonight. So he made well-rounded points, and he'll be given an audience and a chance to chat, which all of you will be given. So don't ever worry about coming on here and saying what you think. That's exactly what this channel should always be about. And if there's somebody out there, and there's plenty on social media who aren't happy with Pogba, come on, I'm not going to cut you off. You will be given the opportunity. So don't ever worry about that. And if you're a rival fan, we haven't had one for a while, but you are welcome on as well. Would have been quite funny to get a Chelsea fan on tonight, but suffice to say, nobody did. They're more than happy just being the keyboard warrior in the live comments. But thanks everyone for watching. Please do like the video. It's very important that you like the video. There's over 500 of you watching at the moment. It takes 1 second to like it, and you're not liking the United stand, although you can do it for that reason. You're liking all the guests that come on, and a lot of them doing it for the first time as well. So big applause to them, and that's why we enjoy doing the Skype show, because it gives you all you lot, the most important people behind this channel, a voice to come on. So thanks everybody. We will do another one later in the week. I've just got to figure out what the schedule will be, because it's thick and fast with games. But remember, after Sunday we've got an international break for 2 weeks, so that probably is going to mean at least 2 Skype goal bridges a week. So there'll be loads of opportunities next week to get on. So keep getting involved, and if you're not watching live, get commenting. But thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you very soon.